Good afternoon, everyone. I plan on doing a collage on canvas for you, and I would like to show you the simple way to do it and a way that works every time. So normally you would have your canvas already gessoed, and by using gesso, I have mine in the extra container so that I don't have to pull out my big gallon jug of it, but it's a Liquitex gesso, and you'll paint your canvas with it first and leave it overnight. So this canvas has already been painted and it's getting ready for us to do a collage. And I just want to keep this first class simple so you get an idea of what the end result will be. I also create my own papers by using different types of paper, but I paint them myself usually, but not always, but most of the time. And that way I can create my patterns that I like and use the colors that I think I would put into a certain painting. The gel medium that I use, which is my glue, is by Golden, and there are other brands that you can use that are almost as good, but this is my favorite. And I usually take it out of my large container and put it in some smaller container that has a good cover. And that way I don't ruin my large containers until I'm ready to use it again. So I have my gel medium, which is my glue. How far over can you see there? And I have a brush. You can use any old brush. It can be an old oil painting brush or something like that. You don't want to use your finer brushes to put your glue on. We're going to start with a background that is just white. It's gesso white, and it has dried overnight. And we are just going to put some papers out here that I like that go together well, and this would be something you can do. You can use any size canvas. This is an 11 by 14, and any colors that you would like. And I'm just going to throw some colors out here. This has not been planned much ahead at all, and most often, this is how I do my collages. I just throw out some papers that I like or colors, and I rip. I don't cut. Some people like to cut, if that's all right. But I mostly like just folding and ripping, and that gives a softer edge so that the glue and when I glue it down, it has a nice soft edge. Then when you use paint, you can paint it right in and it'll look just like it was paint instead of cut edge paper. And I do paint or create my own papers. This one, I've added some gold to it. These are just different textures of paper. They have fiber in them. This is more like often the papers that I like to paint on or into, but this had a fiber. And these you can purchase just like they are. And I will rip these up as well. So let's get started. I use black and white a lot because I can put that in with the other colors any place I would like, as you can see. And also, I can paint over the black and white later if I choose to. All right, we'll have a whole section on different kinds of papers, different ways to create your textures, and different paint you can use on them. And that will take us a long time, but I just want to get you through a fun little class on how to collage. So I see all these really wild colors and neat colors, and I'm going to put some aside so that I can start ripping and show you the process. And the most important part of collaging, I feel, is using the right amount of glue and adhering your paper to the canvas so that it will stay on there. And using this glue, they will stay on there just about forever. Okay, so I'm going to just take this color here because I like it, and I'm just going to rip. And I most always do abstract, and this is a neat way for you to start by doing abstract work, so you don't have to be so fussy with everything. And I decided that I would like to orientate my canvas. I'll leave it horizontal for now. So I take my glue, and I don't put it on my paper, I put it on my canvas. And this is about where I want to put this piece of paper. And I'll put it on, and then I will glue over it. And I can pretty much guarantee you that that's not going to move from there. So next, where do I want to go next? Sometimes I keep an idea in my mind, or always do, of some type of orientation. It will appear to be across, so that, in other words, the more focus will be going this way and perhaps this way. So we'll keep that simple for now, and let's continue on. I want to put some more paper on here. So let's just do a series of this color along with another type with different shapes. So you don't want all your shapes the same, all right? So we're going to cut this back a little bit. And usually, or often, I'll wait for this first layer of paper to dry. But today we're going to go right into it and keep it going. So now we want maybe perhaps a little contrast in here. So I'm just going to put this right down like that. And look at that. We've already got 3 pieces down. And they're starting to look like a really neat composition, aren't they? Next, I'm going to try something else just to make it a little more fun. Let's try another gray or black and white. Now, this is a really lightweight paper, and I do, as I said earlier, prefer lightweight papers because they sort of fit in there nicely for you and stay down nicely for you. And we're going to put this one right here. I got to put a little bit of water in there. This is a little bit thick. There. So now we only have basically, what, 3 colors or so? Okay. And next I'm going to put something really wild in there. This paper here was a paper that I had, and I had painted it completely over with obviously a purple solid acrylic paint. And these work really good when you just want to add a certain variety to your piece. And in the end, I might even go over all of this with even paint, or I might go over it with more with more paper. So now you see we're starting to get some kind of a interesting shape. If I'm going to try to keep this in a cruciform fashion, I can even make my X go like this, or cross and go like that. As long as my center or focal point area is not in the very center of my piece. So that's the only thing we have to think about or concentrate on. And I want to add another bright color with that. And I'm thinking of using, I've got purple and pink. So what would be the complementary color to that, would you guess? Purple and pink. Probably a little yellow maybe, or gold. Let's interject this in there. And I think I'm going to go with it like that. So kind of think out loud here. And how about right there? I always like the look of texture, and I always like the look of movement. So this certainly is not very sterile yet already, is it? So I think that's pretty cool. And then I'm going to put another little pattern. Now this pattern, I have to admit, is a paper that I purchased. It's already patterned, and I didn't paint this one myself. I will be truthful. There. I'm going to put that up on the upper edge just to give it a little movement. And what it also does is moves your eye in and out of the picture or the painting. Now let's try to get an idea of going this way with something strong like that. And let's go back into our pinks. So we're going like that, and now we're going to go perhaps that way. So let's get this pink down in here. And they don't have to connect because this is an abstract, right? And you can do anything you want. You don't have to make them do any create certain pattern, but as your eye looks at it, it's going to be mostly how you're feeling about this piece right now. And you might not even have an idea of what you want yet. You're still pasting down papers. And that's the other thing I love about collage, is that you can just keep working it, getting your ideas going, continuing on. Now I have to be a little careful, even though I could leave it this way. I don't want everything going in the same order. I want it to be a little more chaotic, which is often how I paint. Yes, I've been known to be called chaotic. This color should be more toward the center because it's so bright, but I've decided to put it where I'm not supposed to. So it's going to go there. How do you like that? Now we're really getting some movement in here, aren't we? So we might want to calm it down in a minute, but not yet. Let's add some, I love polka dots. Let's add some polka dots in here. Now see, if I want to do something even later, I can even paint color into those polka dots, or I can paint color into here. So we are still getting a little bit crazy here. And let's put another one of these in. This will calm it down because you see the color's softer, and it also has a very simple pattern. Now, where would you like to see that? How would it go? I'm going this way and I'm going this way. Let's put it, what do you think about right there? Let's put it right there. All right. I'm not sure I like that. What do you think? Think you like that there? I'll move some more of it around. Ooh, there, looking good there. See what I'm also doing? I'm moving color around. Sometimes I don't even think about that, but it will in the end create a pattern. So we've got 3 of this grouping. We have 1, 2, 3 of this grouping. We have 2 purples. We might want to put a couple more purples in there just to keep it exciting. And a lot of people do like to cut their papers. They like them to be more exact, having exact lines and edges, but I feel this keeps your edges softer when you start painting into it. And see how my edge right here there's not a hard edge there. It's sort of softened down because it's been ripped. All right. Now let's see, we've got to do something else different in here. What other color do you think we need? We've got 3 purples. 3 of those, 3 of those. We need more. How about this one? Put that one in there somewhere again. And often when you paint on your papers, if you notice, that's one side and that's the other, and you have pattern on both sides, almost just as well as if you'd only painted one side, which, I'm sorry, it was painted only on one side, but it created a pattern all the way through the paper because it was a translucent paper, mostly. All right, now we're going to kind of bring these in together a little bit. Now see, I did cover up some of that, but it's still showing through. Has quite a bit of interest in it. Now this is like an overlap, and I'm not liking that it's lifting. So I'm going to lift it up just a little bit on my own. Put some more glue behind there. There. And you don't want to worry about getting glue on your fingers, because you will be getting lots of glue on your fingers before you get done. All right, so now I think we need something else to, that's too much of a straight X, isn't it, or a cross. So this is going, and we don't want it to come right to our corner. We want it to come away from the corner just to keep it interested, keep the interest in, and you don't want to lose your viewer, because once the viewer is looking at a piece and it takes him out of the painting, he's going to be gone. If you know what I mean by that. Don't feel bad, I don't either. Okay, now I want to get some more interest in the middle area. Oh, here it is. So I have this paper that I just love. This is rice paper, and it does have some patterns going through it that will soften out some of this white. I decided I want to add a little more interest to the whole background area. So here it goes. And that softens it down pretty nicely, doesn't it? And it starts to bring everything together, whereas there might be a little bit too much contrast in this other end of it. And I want to change that a little bit. So now it's becoming a whole piece, isn't it? We may be losing some of our pattern or our composition, but when we're done, we will have a full painting, a completed painting, and you'll be able to still see the composition when it's done later. So now I'm muting it a lot, and I like that because it's like putting a paintbrush down here with paint, only we're doing it with paper. So basically this whole piece is going to be mostly collage. I might not even put in some paper. I'm sorry, I might not even put in some paint. So how's that looking from that end? Just for fun, I'm going to turn it around so you can see at different angles. So there you can already see that there's a big area here and here, which stands out even more because I got used to looking at it the other way as you did. And this is the way I was looking at it, which is pretty interesting too, isn't it? And here we go again. So one nice thing that I love about collage, about abstract, is that I can turn it and I can have 3 different paintings before I get done. And then in the end I can decide which way I like the orientation. So I'm going to go back to this where I started. I think that was where I started, yep. And I didn't put any more of this in yet, but I'm still going to add some more of this one. And I'm not going to go through the whole process on this, but basically you'll have an idea of what it looks like when it's going to be finished. And we might even do this in 2 different stages so that it'll give you a little time to do the same thing. And realize that you can put these on here any way you'd like. Just concentrate on having different sizes, different shapes, and keeping your color for now moved around so it's filling your whole space with a number of different colors. You're not trying to form a tree, or you're not trying to make a barn, or you're not trying to make a pet or an animal, or it's not a realistic piece by any means. It's just going to be totally abstract, which really allows you a lot of fun, not to worry about anything. And what's happening is something is coming out of this brain of mine, which would be it would be happening with you as well. And you don't have to worry about making an object that everyone is going to be able to figure out what it is. Everyone will have a different idea what they think it is when you get done with this, and that's the fun part of it. It really is. And also notice I am going paper over paper. So when this piece of paper went over this piece of paper, you see you have another shape in here, and it's darker. When this piece of paper went over the purple, it also created another shape, this little area here. When this dries, you're going to see even more so, and it's really makes it much more interesting. Now this paper here that I used is a little heavier, and it's not sitting in well enough. It should be more, it should be sticking better, let's put it that way. And so if it doesn't, once again, just run your finger over it, and if you get some lifting like that, that's great. That gives you a whole other texture. And look at what else it did. It gave me another place or a space, and I just have solid white in here now. And that's quite interesting, isn't it? Now if we go down here, now that I like that, I might just do that down here again. So as I go along, I keep creating. Now here's another nice white area, and I'm notice it's more in my focal area, and I like that up here, and why this is working so well is this other paper was so thin that I can wipe it away and I can create shapes. I think I want one more down in here. So now I'm putting more contrast back into the piece. And I like that. Just have to make sure that these are exactly the same shape. And I see one other thing I don't like is this straight line here. I want to make that a little bit more interesting. So I'm just going to put another piece of this in here. That is not repeated. I can find another piece of it. Here it is. And let's put it somewhere where it keeps your eye moving you around. And I'm going to put it right up in here. Yeah, right there. I like that. All right. We're going to put one more thing in here in a second, but I want to turn this around again for you. So that's that area. Or that's, for you it's orientated vertically now. It almost looks like it needs something down in here. What do you think? So one color we could really throw things off with is throw a pink down in here. Let's do it. Let's do a crazy pink down in there. And let's separate it so that we get another white area in it. With a sharper edge. Interesting. Now where else do we need one? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 or 6 in here now. And I'm thinking I might like one up in here. Let's throw it right up in here. Nope. There. All right. So now we need, let's keep turning it. We didn't finish. There it is again horizontally. And there's another vertical. Maybe this is a nice simple space, but maybe it needs a little more interest in that one area. What do you think? Let's try it. Let's put another one of these in there. Just a little simple, soft section like that. And oh, look what that did, huh? So I think I need one more spot of interest, which I'll call my more or less my focal spot. And I'm going to put it right here. Now it's not in the center, it's off to the side. It has a lot of pieces or structures that were pointing to this area, right? So we need something maybe somewhere right in this area. We could try a whole different color in there to really put a shocker in there. Not bright enough. Too bright. Okay, I'm losing my thought process. process. Oh, here it is. Here's my thought process. Going back to simple. Black. All right. Now when this dries, believe it or not, you're not going to see any light color or white color over this. The colors are just going to be what the papers are, because this dries clear. All right. So let's see if you can do something like this at home and just throw anything on the way it comes to you at the time. You don't have to pre-plan it, and just see what you end up with. I think you'll be surprised at how much you're going to like your little abstract piece when you're done. I really believe that. And don't get disappointed if it's only your first time, right? Not getting too much in that corner, because you're looking at it from another angle. How about that there? Okay, this is the last piece we're going to put in for now. In our next session, we will find a different way to finish it. All right, thank you for joining me.